Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanadari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Vishnu Vijaya, Asajas of Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anant Gauri Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Singh Host Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shiva Navanam Ki Jai, Shri Maya Pranavadam Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Bhakti Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi, all glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories, Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17. Mars Prithu becomes angry at the earth. Text number 14. And then we'll read a couple more verses too. Pravepamana. You have it there? You're looking? Four 17:14. Pravepamana Dharani Nisham Yudayudham Cha Tam Gau Sati Apadradvad Beta Mrigiva Mrigayu Juta Pravepamana Dharani Nisham Yodha Yudham Chatam Gausatya Padravadbita Mrigiva Mrigayudruta Prave Pramana Dharani Nisham Yodhayudham Chatam Gausat Japad Rafadbita Mrigiva Mrigudruta Prave Pramana Dharani Nisham Yodhayudham Chatam Gausat Japad Rafadbita Mrigiva Mrigayudruta Prave Pramana Dharani Nisamyodayudham Chitam Gausat Japad Rafadbita Mrigiva Mrigayudruta Mataji's. Gausat Japad Rafadbita Mrigiva Mrigayudruta Prave Pramana Dharani Nisamyodhayudham Chitam Gausat Japad Rafadbita Mrigiva Mrigayudruta Praveyapana trembling, Dharani, the earth, Vishamya, seen, Udayudham, having taken his bow and arrow, Cha, also, Tam, the king, Gao, a cow, Sati, becoming, Aparavat, began to flee, Bita, very much afraid, Mrigiva, like a deer, Mrigayu, by a hunter, Druta, being followed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the earth saw that King Prithu was taking his bow and arrow to kill her, she became very much afraid and began to tremble. She then began to flee, exactly like a deer, which runs very swiftly when followed by a hunter. Being afraid of King Prithu, she took the shape of a cow and began to run. Purport. Just as a mother produces various children, both male and female, the womb of Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. At this time, in order to avoid the wrath of King Prithu, she took the shape of a cow. Since a cow is never to be killed, Mother Earth thought it wise to take the shape of a cow in order to avoid King Prithu's arrows. King Prithu, however, could understand this fact, and therefore he did not stop chasing the cow-shaped earth. go on to a couple more verses. This is verse 15. Seeing this, Maharaj Prithu became very angry, and his eyes became as red as the early morning sun. Placing an arrow on his bow, he chased the cow-shaped earth wherever she would run. Text 16. The cow-shaped earth ran here and there in outer space between the heavenly planets and the earth, and wherever she ran, the king chased her with his bow and arrows. Special cow going around the universe. Text 17. Just as a man cannot escape the cruel hands of death, the cow-shaped earth could not escape the hands of the son of Vena. At length the earth, fearful, her heart aggrieved, turned back in helplessness. Text 18. Addressing the great opulent king Prithu, addressing the great opulent king Prithu as the knower of religious principles and shelter of the surrendered, she said, quote, "Please save me. You are the protector of all living entities. Now you are situated as the king of this planet." Unquote. Purport. The cow-shaped earth addressed King Prithu as Dharmagya, which refers to one who knows the principles of religion. The principles of religion dictate that a woman, cow, child, Brahmana, and an old man must be given all protection by the king or anyone else. Consequently, Mother Earth took the shape of a cow. She was also a woman. Thus, she appealed to the king as one who knows the principles of religion. Religious principles also dictate that one is not to be killed if he surrenders. She reminded King Prithu that not only was he an incarnation of God, but he was situated as the king of the earth as well. Therefore, his duty was to excuse her. Om Jnanatamandasya Gyananjana Slakaya Chakshum Latam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kurtavachalang Pangunang Haite Gurim Yat Kripataraham Vande Shri Gurum Dhanataranam Vanchakapati Vischa Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada mentions here that according to Dharma, a woman, a cow, child, Brahmana, old man must be given protection. He was speaking about this in Los Angeles. Prabhupada, this is 1973, a lot of devotees there. So he was explaining how the woman has to be protected, always taken care of, the child, old man, the Brahmana. And he said everybody here fits in that category, but don't take advantage. So, this is real religion, that there has to be protection for these different entities. So here, it's mentioned that she was very fearful, because King Prithu is very powerful, Kshatriya, and she could see that he's so powerful. What is the hope? So she took the form of a cow, thinking that he's not gonna kill a cow, but still he went after her to kill the cow. So Prabhupada, he one time said that my disciples, they have two diseases. One, they are not enough afraid of Maya, So we should have a firm fear of the illusory energy, very powerful Maya. And the other one he said is that we like to change things. It's like there was one disciple that said, Prabhupada, this movement is so nice. It's so beneficial for society. And people are very happy. But if you could change it to instead of having 4 regular principles, 3 regular principles, this movement would grow like anything. So he said, if we just have it, no gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, stop there. 3 regular principles. And Prabhupada said no. But the devotee kept on pressuring, Prabhupada, we just change that one thing, just 3 regular principles instead of 4. No. He said, I'm not interested in having many shooting stars. But if we just have one moon, it would be a success. So then Prabhupada told this disciple that if you want, you could start your own movement. 3 regular principles. Good luck. Of course, he never did. So Prabhupada had great integrity. And that's why this movement spread so much, because he had so much integrity. And he told one devotee one time, he said, I cannot fall. I cannot fall down. Just a couple hours later, he saw Prabhupada praying in front of the deities. Fervently. And he had a nice relationship with Prabhupada, so later in the day he said, Prabhupada, I saw you praying in front of the deities. Very sincerely, if you don't mind me asking, what were you praying? He said, I was praying for protection. And the devotee said, but Prabhupada, you said you can't fall down. He said, that's why I'm always praying for protection. This is why I won't fall down, because I'm praying to Krishna. In the material world, it's a dangerous place. Samasataye parapallava palavam mahaparam punya somarare bhavam punya vatsar param yad vipatena tesha. That for one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, for such a person this vast ocean of material existence becomes no bigger than the water contained in a hoofprint of a calf. And what is their destiny? Their destiny is the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. Not this place where there's danger at every step. It's a very dangerous place, this material world. So therefore we have to take shelter of Krishna. Take shelter of the pure devotees. Nardeham adyang sulabang sadrolabam. That this human form of life, it's a great boon, actually, and very rarely achieved. How many forms of life are there? 8,400,000 different species of life. So to have the human form of life, it's a great advantage. Because with the human form of life, we can cross over the ocean of birth and death. The body is compared to a boat. It's compared to a boat by which you can cross the ocean of material existence. And the captain is the spiritual master. And you have to have favorable winds. Now we're talking about a time when there wasn't engines on the big boats, when there was just boats and they had to use sails or they had to use oars. So in such a situation, you have to have a boat, you have to have a captain, and you have to have wind, favorable wind. So the spiritual mastery is the captain, the boat is the body, and the Vedic literatures, these are the favorable winds that help us cross over the ocean of material existence. It's a big challenge to become so pure that we can cross over this ocean of material existence and go back to Krishna. Very difficult. Krishna says, Daibhihesa Ganamai Mama Maya Drajya. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. But one who surrenders unto me can easily cross beyond it. So we have to surrender. Either we surrender to Krishna or we surrender to Maya. If we surrender to Krishna, we experience the loving embrace of Krishna. Just like, what was that, Gopakumar? Yeah, he got the embrace of Krishna. If we surrender to Maya, then we get the kick. We get the kick in the head, yeah, from Maya. Better to get the embrace of Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very nice verse in this regard. Akinchinasya dantasya santasya samachetasa maya santustamanasa sarvasukha maya dasa. That one who is free, actually this is spoken by Krishna in the Uddhava Gita, one who is free of material desires. Now what is a material desire? We talk about, there's a lot of this discussion about, spiritual desire, material. What's a material desire? A material desire is a desire for the mind and body. So that's a material desire. If we have a desire to satisfy the mind and body, that's material. Now what's a spiritual desire? Spiritual desire is the desire to satisfy Krishna. Sarva pariva nirmuktvam tatpatvena nirmuktvam hrisikesa sevanam bhakti ushate. Devotional service means to engage our senses in the service of the master of the senses. That's devotional service. And there's two side effects of this. One is our senses become purified. Our mind, our senses become purified. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? To have pure mind, pure senses? Not this rascal mind, but a pure mind. To have pure senses. Just want to engage our senses in the service of Krishna, satisfying Krishna's senses. Krishna has senses. He has desires. There's things that please him. Just like Prabhupada was speaking about this, he said if you dance before Krishna, three things happen. You become free of the modes of nature. If you dance before Krishna, you become free of the modes of nature. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? Free of the modes of nature. You become light. And you develop your love for Krishna. Three things. You become free of the modes of nature, because Krishna, he likes it when we dance before him. Right? He likes that. So we please Krishna by dancing, pleasing Krishna by this dancing. We become light. We become light in two ways. You become light in the sense that you become free of the modes of nature, because the modes of nature are heavy, right? So if we dance before the Lord, we become light, free of the modes of nature, and you also lose weight. Yeah? And then the last one, you develop your love for Krishna. So as soon as I heard that, I said, all right, I'm going to be a dancer now. Simple. You dance for Krishna and you become purified. You please Krishna. He has senses. It's like I just heard an amazing story, Radha Swami. In Vrindavan, Govindaji was there in Vrindavan. Right? And then these Muslims came. What was it? Aurangzeb came, and they took the deities away. almost all the deities were taken. So he went to Jaipur. They took Govindaji to Jaipur. But there was a devotee in Vrindavan that was very attached to Govindaji. And so attached that in his dream he would cook for Govindaji. And it was so pure, in his dream it was so pure and so real that Govindaji ate this prasad. It was all in the dream. But it was done with such love in the dream that Govindaji, he accepted it as an offering. Amazing. So there was a king, in Jaipur, the kings were practically all devotees for so many generations. So Govindaji came to the king in a dream and said, there's a devotee in Vrindavan that's cooking for me. He's very good, so I want you to go to Vrindavan and bring him. And then the king woke up from the dream, and the plate, this devotee Narahari, he made khichdi. So this khichdi was on a golden plate next to the king when he woke up. And he thought, what is this? This must be the prasad that this Narahari had cooked. So he was like amazed, so he started eating it right there, and he brought his family members and told them about the dream. Excuse me. So then he told his family, I got to go to Vrindavan. I got to bring this devotee from Vrindavan. So he did that. Just that day he went to Vrindavan, and he was asking around. Now Narahari was a very simple person, and he wasn't a cook. He was cleaning, around this Govindaji temple. And the king came and said, I'm looking for Narahari. He's a very good cook. I have to bring him. And they said, he doesn't cook. He just cleans. No, he's a cook. You don't understand. So they found Narahari, and the king said, in your dream, not long ago, you cooked for Govindaji, and he accepted that. So he came to me in a dream, and he wants me to bring you back to Jaipur. And he was shocked. All right. So he went and he cooked. He was cooking every day for the king. For the deity there. And of course they were taking prasadam. So, Krishna, he has senses. Yeah. We can please Krishna in so many ways. Just like there's another amazing pastime of this nice devotee, Brahmana. Not a very wealthy Brahmana, a poor Brahmana. So he was in one village, and one sannyasi was speaking about how one can please Krishna by manaseva, mental service, just serving Krishna through the mind. And this was the poor Brahmana was hearing that, and he thought, wow, that I could serve Krishna opulently just by manaseva in my mind. So he went to the bank of the Jamuna, and in his mind he was doing service, manaseva, for years. He would bathe the deities, he would cook for the deities, he would dress the deities, he would do all this service for the deities. And one day he made some sweet rice for the Lord. And sweet rice is supposed to be cold before you offer it to the Lord. You shouldn't be offered hot. So he wanted to test it, so he put his finger in the manna sweet rice, and he burnt his finger. He's like, how is that possible? He was shocked. And in Vaikuntha, Lord Vishnu, he smiled. And Lakshmi is there. He said, why are you smiling? Oh, one devotee, he's down doing seva, mana seva. He just burnt his finger making mana sweet rice. And he's surprised. So then he sent a Vaikuntha airplane down, picked him up, took him back home, back to Godhead. So, yeah, Krishna, he has senses. So we have to try to please the senses of Krishna. Hrisikena, Hrisikesa, Sevana Bhakti Ushyate. This is how to attract Krishna. So Kinchanasya, Dantasya. Dantasya means the senses. We have to control the senses. The senses are, especially in Kali Yuga, Kala, Kalir, Balina, Indriya, Vairi, Varga. In the age of Kali, the senses and the mind are very strong. They're very difficult to control. And and to control them is more difficult is, what is it? It's and there's in this age the path of bhakti is spiked by millions of thorny obstacles. So in this age the senses, the mind is so difficult, and there's so many obstacles on this path of bhakti in the age of Kali. But what does Krishna say? Machchita sarva dargani mat prasada tarishasi. Krishna says that if you become conscious of me, you'll cross over all the obstacles on your path to pure devotional service. If, however, you act out of false ego and you don't hear me, then you'll be lost. Nobody likes to be lost, right? But in the material world, we're lost. We don't know what is the goal of life. Of course, fortunately, we've come in contact with Prabhupada's book, so we're getting some understanding. But even so many devotees have come and they've read the books, all the books, and then they go off anyway. Go off again, try to enjoy the material world. There was one thought, now it's slipped my mind. So we have to control the senses, we have to control the mind, and engage our mind, engage our senses in the service of Krishna. This will be very pleasing to Krishna. So kinchinasya dantasya santasya. Santasya means peaceful. If we serve Krishna, then we'll be peaceful, we'll be satisfied. But if we just try to satisfy the mind and senses, we won't be satisfied. There'll be frustration. That's the nature of material life, is frustration. But the nature of spiritual life is that one is satisfied, thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna. So kinchinasya dantasya santasya samachetasa. Samachetasa means that a devotee sees the soul everywhere. Just like I was just reading. Prabhupada was in Nairobi. This is back in 73 or 74. And one brahmachari was complaining that the women in the temple room chanting japa, it's not good, they should chant somewhere else. And Prabhupada said this person is a fool. Vidya, he said, Vidya vinaya sampane, that the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. He sees the soul. So this brahmachari, he said, Prabhupada said he should go to the forest. Just go to the forest. He's a fool, because he's not seeing the soul. We should see that everybody is a soul. This is reality. Yeah? Imagine how nice it would be that if everybody in society had this understanding that we're all spirit souls. Be so nice. But there's so much designation, American, Chinese, Israeli, Palestinian, Ukrainian, Russian. It's called, Prabhupada called it skin disease. Skin disease. So this process is about getting free of this skin disease. We're not the skin, we're not this body. We're the soul within. I'll tell you an interesting... you ever heard of this? In America they had this series of shows on television called The Twilight Zone. Anybody ever heard of The Twilight Zone? Maybe before your time. This, believe it or not, this is back in... started in like 59 and stopped in 64 or something like that. Or maybe even earlier. But it was science fiction. And this one episode I'm going to tell you about, it could have been in the Bhagavatam. He was a little thoughtful, this person who would write these scripts. So this is about a time... This is very interesting. You'll find it interesting. This is a person. He was the biggest prisoner, the biggest criminal in America, and they were trying to figure out what to do with this criminal. So they decided to take him to another planet and leave him there. Remember, this is science fiction. So they put him in a spaceship. They took him. They left him there. They left some food and left some water. And one might think, "Well, hey, that's not too bad. He's got his own planet." But he's there by himself. Nobody, no life, just him there on this planet. So every couple of months they would come in there, bring some food and water, just so he can survive. And he would beg them when they would come, "Please stay, talk to me. Come on, let's play some chess or something. Don't leave me here. No, gotta go." So this is going on for years. And he's just like, it's enough to drive you nuts. You're just there by yourself. So one time they came and they brought a box. They brought a box. They left it for him. They said, "Well, this should be able to help you some." So he opened the box, and there was a robot that had to be assembled. So he assembled the robot, and it was a woman. And then he was assembled, and the woman standing there, this woman robot, and he said, "This is just a joke. It's just a robot." He pushed the robot, and then the robot said, "Hey, you hurt me." He said, "What do you mean I hurt you? You're just a bunch of metal and wires, and how could you get hurt?" And the robot said, "Well, I'm a special robot." So he apologized. "Well, I'm sorry. And then now he had someone to talk to. It's a big relief, although it's a robot. He had someone to talk to. So still they're coming and they're bringing food and water, and one time they came and said, "We have good news for you. Your sentence has been lifted. We're taking you back to America." Now you can imagine this prisoner was so happy. So happy. "I'm going back to America." And he told the robot, "I'm going back to America. You can come with me. I'll show you America. It's beautiful." And one of the guys said, "I was afraid that was going to happen." In other words, that he's going to think that the robot is actually real. So he took out his gun to shoot the robot, and the prisoner said, No, don't shoot. That's my friend." And then he shot, and the robot just dismantled. All the tin and the wires and everything it all broke to pieces. And the prisoner's like, "Whoa, I thought it was real, but it was just a robot." So he woke up from that illusion. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Isvara sarvabhutanam hridasya junatisti brahmayan sarvabhutan yantravidhanimaya, that I'm seated in the hearts of all living entities, and I'm directing the wanderings of everyone who are seated as though on a machine. So this body is also, it's like a machine. The bones are like the frame of the machine. And there's different parts of the machine. You got the heart, and you got the lungs, and you got the kidneys, and you got the blood. And but it's just a machine. But we think it's real. We think that I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm American, or I'm Chinese, or I'm Indian. No, this is just a machine. And we're the person within the machine. And Prabhupada gave an example also. He said, just like these glasses. The glasses don't see, but the eyes are seen through the glasses. And he said also, the eyes aren't seen, but it's the soul seen through the eyes. Just like when someone dies, does a dead body see? Dead bodies don't see, right? Because the soul has left, the body can't see anymore. Only because the soul is in the body can we see. Right? So the soul is seen through the eyes. But Krishna, he's such an amazing engineer. He's the best engineer. This body is a machine, right? Now machines, generally they go through an assembly line, just like cars. There's an assembly line. It goes through an assembly, and this part's put on, this part's put on, that part's put on, then eventually it goes through the whole assembly line, then you have the full car. But with this machine, all the parts are growing at the same time. The seed is put into the womb of the mother, and all the parts, it begins with just a little pea, and it's just growing. All the parts of the machine are growing at the same time. The brain, the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, everything is growing at the same time, right? And then it comes out. Haribo. And what's even more amazing, see, this is the engineering of Krishna, is these machines reproduce. They reproduce, which is amazing. Just like the computer engineers are very proud of their computers, so sophisticated, right? These amazing computers, right? But when they can make make computers that reproduce, that'll be impressive. But you'll never find computers reproducing. Two Apple computers go into a room and jingle around, and then a little apple comes out. An apple air comes out. It's not going to happen. Not so high tech. Krishna's engineering is very high tech. So kinchinasya dantasya santasya samachetasa maya santusta. Maya santusta means one who is satisfied in Krishna consciousness. We have to be satisfied in Krishna consciousness. This material world it's Maya's playground. It's Maya's world. So much illusion, so much Maya. So to be satisfied in Krishna consciousness is not easy, because there's so much attraction in the material world. Maya is very expert. Makes so many things attractive in this world. So we have to learn to be satisfied just chanting Hare Krishna, taking Krishna Prasadam, doing devotional service. In this way, Krishna is pleased. So this verse goes on to say that one who is free of material desires, whose senses are controlled, akinchinasya dantasya santasya, who is peaceful, who sees everyone equally, and who is satisfied in Krishna consciousness, wherever such a person goes, will only find happiness. Vishwampurna Sukhayate. Now this place is, Krishna says, it's Dukkhalayam Sasvatam. It's a place of misery. But here it's saying wherever one goes, he will only find happiness. Seems like a contradiction there. But if one is Krishna conscious, even though one is in this material world, which is a place of suffering, one will only find happiness. Yeah. So only a devotee can be happy in the material world. Only a devotee can be happy in the material world. And he tries to help others also be happy in this material world by getting this knowledge. By getting this knowledge, people wake up from their amnesia. I'll tell you, remember I had something came to mind and disappeared, now it came back. There was a person in the university in Santa Barbara, UCSB, and he was riding his bike, and he crashed. He hit his head, and he had amnesia, serious amnesia. He forgot his name, didn't know where he lived, nothing, zero, just zip. Didn't know what to do. So he picked up the bike, figuring it must be my bike. I'm just picked up and just stood up. And now, so he's riding it. He's walking his bike, not knowing where to go. So there's a devotee distributing books there in Santa Barbara, and the devotee stopped him and said, "Hey, how's it going? Where are you from?" And this person said, "I don't know. I just crashed my bike, hit my head. I have no memory. I don't know anything. Don't know my name. Don't know anything." So the devotee said, "Well, I'll tell you who you are. You're the eternal servant of Krishna." And he said, "Well, okay, at least I know something now." So this devotee was very kind. So he took this person under his wing, and he let him stay with him in his apartment. And he taught him about Krishna consciousness. And he became a devotee. He became a book distributor. He became a very good book distributor. He was a temple commander in Los Angeles temple. So at one point he decided he wanted to know who he was materially. He found out who he was spiritually, the eternal servant of Krishna. But he wanted to know who he was materially. So he went back to that school, and he had some papers printed out, and he pasted on billboards around the school, and he had his picture on the paper. "I have amnesia. If you know who I am, call me up." And he got many calls. Yeah, I know who you are. He even found out who his parents were, and he found out where he lived and everything. And it turns out that before he got this amnesia, he was a big atheist. But Krishna covered all that up, and he became a good devotee. So, Krishna is amazing how Krishna works. Yeah. In India, there's a saying that on every grain of rice, there's someone's name. How do you say it? Anybody know? On every grain of rice, there's someone's name. In India, they all know it. No one knows it here. So that's a very common saying in India. Every grain of rice has someone's name on it. So also with Prabhupada's books, every book we distribute has someone's name on it. Like many times, people will get a book from a devotee, and they'll give it to some friend, or they'll just put it somewhere, and someone else gets it. It's like Radhanath Swami. Recently, he told me a story of a person who was in New Vrindavan. He was like walking around the property, and Radhanath Swami went over and was started talking to him, and he asked him, "So how'd you find out about the temple and Krishna consciousness?" And he said, "I was at a store, and I bought a slice of watermelon, It's very good watermelon. I was eating it over a trash can, a bin. You say bin here? And the watermelon slipped out of my hand and went into the trash. And he said, generally I wouldn't do this, but it was a good watermelon. So I reached in there to get the watermelon, and I pulled out this Bhagavad Gita. And it looked at it. It was a good book. I'm thinking, why would anybody throw away such a nice book? So I put it under my arm, and I got that watermelon, finished that watermelon, and I took the book home, and I was wow! I was like amazed. This is an amazing book. I read it twice, and from reading the Bhagavad Gita, I started meditating. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So yeah, and I looked in the back of the book, and I found the address to this farm here. So yeah, that's how I came here. Now one might think the book was thrown in the trash. End of the story with that book, right? In the trash. No. Mystically, this person comes and pulls it out of the trash, reads it, and becomes a devotee. He got initiated. Radhanath Swami asked him, so what kind of work do you do? He said, I'm a welding specialist. And just then they were building Prabhupada's Palace of Gold, and they needed a welding specialist. So he helped build Prabhupada's Palace of Gold. You all heard of Prabhupada's Palace of Gold, in Vrindavan. So this is the magic of Krishna. You want to see the magic of Krishna, go on book distribution. You'll experience the magic of Krishna. Just like one devotee asked Devanrita Swami, what is the best service we can do for Krishna? He said the best service you can have is you have a service where you have to cry out to Krishna for help. And that's book distribution. Because it's not an easy service. You got to pray to Krishna. Book distribution is all about prayer. You got to pray, Krishna, please help me to be an instrument in your hands. Help me to have some compassion for these souls. It's like there's one very nice verse spoken by Sudama, the garland maker. You know, when Krishna left Vrindavan, he went to Mathura, and he met this garland maker. And this garland maker, Sudama, he was such a great devotee. Krishna was so pleased with him. He said to him, I'll give you whatever you want. Just ask whatever you want. And Sudama said, I just want three things. He said, Sopi vravre chalam bhaktim tasmani vakilatmani tad bhakte soram bhute suchadayam param. He said, Krishna, please, give me devotion for you. Now he already has so much devotion for Krishna because Krishna is so pleased with him. I'll give you whatever you want, just ask. So he already has so much devotion. Do you know what this means? This means that we can have unlimited devotion for Krishna. It's nice to know. There's no limit to the devotion we can have for Krishna. Next, he asked for friendship with his devotees, with Krishna's devotees, which is also interesting because he's a pure devotee, which means he probably has so many friends, but he wants more friends. He wants friendship with his devotees. Now, in this age of Kali, to even have one or two good friends, it's rare, because Icha Dvaisa Samutvena, Krishna says that all living entities are born into this world bewildered by the dualities of desire and hate. Yeah. So it's difficult just to have one or two or three very good friends. What does it mean to have a good friend? I'll ask the first question here. What does it mean to have a good friend? Can anybody say? What does it mean to have a very good friend? It means you have complete trust. That's what it means. 100% trust. That's what a friend is. Just like imagine there's two friends, growing up together, very close friends. One becomes very wealthy, and the other is just getting by. So at one point, the one that's just kind of getting by, maintaining, he steals a lot of money from his friend. So the trust is lost. So to mend that relationship is very difficult. Once the trust is lost, to mend that relationship, to fix that relationship again, very difficult. So this is also why it's so difficult for us to mend this relationship we have with Krishna. We left Krishna. We wanted to take Krishna's property. We want to be the enjoyer. We want to be the proprietor. We came here to be Krishna, basically. So now the trust has been lost. So now we're trying to gain that trust again. Krishna, I won't do that again. I promise. Now I just want to serve you. Yeah. So we're trying to gain that trust again. I just want to serve you. I just want to please you. So we got to convince Krishna that we won't make that mistake again. So he asks for devotion, friendship with his devotees, and the last one, compassion for all living entities. Compassion. That's also not an easy thing. Again, each Advaita, we're born in this world, bewildered by the dualities, horizon, desire and hate. So compassion is diametrically different, right, from hate. So to have compassion, that's a rare thing to have in Kali Yuga. So it's something we also have to pray for. Man proposes, God disposes. So we have to pray for compassion, pray for friendship, and pray for devotion to Krishna. And Krishna will help us. This movement is all over the world now. 600 temples, thousands and thousands of devotees. Why? Because of the compassion of great souls. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. Because of the compassion of these great devotees, we're all here now, all over the world, chanting Hare Krishna, serving Krishna. So we should feel some gratitude for this great mercy that has been given to us. And the best way to show our gratitude is to give what we've received. To give what we've received. What we've received is the most wonderful thing. Nothing more wonderful than Krishna. So we should also want to give it out. And I think tomorrow is the monthly Sankirtan festival. Am I right? Unfortunately, I won't be here. I didn't know it was tomorrow, otherwise I would have changed my flight. Too late now, but tomorrow is the monthly Sankirtan festival. And I heard that before the COVID, you had 200 devotees going out on monthly Sankirtan festival. Yeah? I'm like, wow, that's like ISV in California. Vaiseshika Prabhu. They would have hundreds of devotees going out every Saturday. Every monthly Sankirtan festival. But this devotee Radha Krishna, I think Radha Krishna Prabhu, is that his name? Radha Raman Prabhu. He said since COVID, now it hasn't picked up again. So now the COVID is over, they got to try to pick it up again. And 200 devotees going out, that's like wonderful. That's ecstatic, very pleasing to Sri Sri Radhanath and Lord Chaitanya. Got to let the mercy flow. Yeah. We got the mercy, now let's help the mercy flow some more. So, any question or comment or reflection? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Monthly Sankirtan Festival Ki Jai. So tonight we'll be talking some more about book distribution, if you're interested.